back at New York Comic Con 2024 with Marc Guggenheim. Marc, we're doing for Comics Online's 25th celebration. We're doing Secret Origins, and we want to know about yours. Sir, how did you get into the industry?
Well, my first professional writing gig was working on a show called The Practice for ABC. And my first comic book writing gig was writing a 2-issue storyline for Aquaman in DC.
And where did those lead?
Wow, well, I tell you, so the Practice led me to getting poached by Law & Order, which led to, 3 years on Law & Order, then work with Greg Berlanti on Jack and Bobby. That led to Green Lantern, Arrow, the Arrowverse, all sorts of craziness. The Aquaman story so set the comic book industry on fire that absolutely nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. No one cared. And it took like over a year for me to get introduced to someone over at Marvel. And that person introduced me to Axel Alonso, who commissioned a Punisher story that didn't even get published for 10 years. But Axel liked that script enough to give me a gig on the Wolverine tie-in to Civil War, and that is really what broke me out. But I like the joke I had to break into comic books twice. It really resisted me.
What was the first comic that really resonated with you?
Oh, good question. Well, see, I remember my first comic. It was a Superman comic, and I remember simply because one of my earliest memories is sitting on the floor of my bedroom before I could even read, flipping through a Superman comic. I don't know if it was Superman or Action Comics or whatnot, but we had neighbors across the street from us who were a little bit older, well, much older than me, and they had given me a bunch of comic books. I would say the first comic book that really landed with me was actually not a comic book. It was Pocket Books, the paperback company. They published these little paperback-sized digests of the original Stan Lee and Steve Ditko run of Amazing Spider-Man. And that book I just read cover to cover to cover like a million times over. It really blew me away.
Well, with that, what are you working on now?
Right now, in comics, I'm working on a new Star Wars series called Jedi Knights. It's set just before the Phantom Menace, and it's basically Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel team-up, but with Jedi Knights.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. I'm really excited.
And in other media?
In other media, I'm writing a pilot for Netflix, a pilot for another studio, a movie for Netflix, and I'm pitching a bunch of TV stuff.
Well, great. And what's your most recent things that are out in television and streaming?
Well, in television and streaming,
yeah.
That's tricky. Still the Arrowverse stuff.
Yeah.
I did a pilot back in 2022, but that didn't go to series, unfortunately. So unfortunately, everyone's going to have to wait for streaming stuff. But I just published my second novel. It's called In Any Lifetime, and that came out in August. It's gotten a really phenomenal response, and that is available on Amazon and in Kindle, audiobook, regular old-fashioned paperback, wherever you can find your Amazon products.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marc.
Cool, thanks.